Imagine you're only allowed to do 3 data projects. Which ones would you choose to guarantee you get a job? In this video, I'll tell you which ones to choose. But first, let's talk about the technical skills hiring managers and companies look for in data science projects. There are 5 fundamental skills in data science. The first one is Python. Well, not really Python, but more specifically, using specific libraries most companies use. They want to know, can you use the tools that they use, and can you read the code that others have written? R and SAS can also be used if you don't have experience with Python. Now notice, I didn't mention SQL. That's a requirement for most companies, but you don't need to showcase these skills on a data science project. Number 3 is statistical analysis. Number 4 is machine learning, and that's why I mentioned Python in the beginning, because it's really hard to do machine learning with R and SAS. And number 5 is data visualization. So this is basically a checklist you should consider when trying to max out for whatever data science project you choose. Of course, there's much more to data science, like using big data technologies, deep learning, NLP, and cloud computing. But the need for them heavily depends on the job description, so it's not always required to get a job. So now let's talk about the 3 projects. Number 1, insights from city supply and demand data. Cities are hubs of demand and supply interactions, especially for companies like Uber. This project involves analyzing Uber's dataset to provide business insights on trips, demand for drivers, and more. You'll be showcasing these 3 skills. EDA, exploratory data analysis, so that's stuff like filling in missing values, aggregating data, parsing time intervals, calculating percentages, weighted averages, and finding differences. Number 2, data visualization, to basically visualize the relationship between supply and demand. And then the last one, deriving actionable insights about completed trips. Basically analyzing things like different periods of time, the weighted average ratio of trips per driver, drafting a driver schedule based off of the busiest hours, relationship between supply and demand, anything you can think of. As you can see, this is basically a business analyst project that tests your insight generation skills and data wrangling skills. Project number 2, customer churn prediction, a classification task. In this data science project, Sony Research gives you a data set of a telecom company's customers. They expect you to perform exploratory analysis and extract insights from the data. You'll then have to build a churn prediction model, evaluate it, and then maybe even discuss the issues when deploying the model into production. The project should be approached in these 3 major phases. Number 1, like always, exploratory analysis and extracting insights. You're going to check the data fundamentals like nulls and uniqueness. You're going to choose data you need and form a clean data set. You're going to visualize the data to check the distribution of values. You'll form a correlation matrix. You're going to check for feature importances, all the things to prepare it for your predictive model. Number 2, you're going to split the data for a training set and a test set. You're going to use scikit-learn to split the data set using something like an 80-20 ratio. And then number 3, you're going to build the model by choosing whatever predictive model you want to implement. So choose many classifiers and pick the best one based off of performance. You're going to need to understand how to measure accuracy and the F1 score while comparing the performance of the different algorithms. Now, as a bonus, and if you want to get fancy, you can also build a deep learning model using artificial neural networks on this problem. And then if you want to get even fancier, you can deploy the model into a cloud environment, sort of like the ML ops stuff that a lot of companies do. Number 3, predictive policing, examining the implications. Using the 2016 City of San Francisco crime data, this project aims to predict the number of crime incidents in a given zip code on a certain day and time. It's a great project to showcase your supervised learning techniques and even sprinkle in some deep learning if you're a true nerd. Here's an approach that you can take. Number 1, exploratory data analysis and data wrangling. Just like the other projects, you're going to be selecting the variables and calculating the total number of crimes per year, per zip code, per hour. Number 2, again, you're going to split the data into a training set and a test set to prepare your models. And number 3, you're going to build a bunch of supervised learning algorithms like linear regression or random forest, k-nearest neighbors, XGBoost, and even a deep learning algorithm like multi-layer perceptron. Number 4, and the last step, you can finish the project by building a visualization and an interactive map, maybe like in Tableau, with your model for crime prediction. Sort of like Tom Cruise in Minority Report. So those are basically the 3 projects that will help you showcase the most important data science skills companies are looking for. If you hate these 3 projects, I also have a list of 30 machine learning project ideas. Check them out in the description below. And if these projects are too advanced for you, I also have a list of 19 data projects for beginners, also in the description below.